Hello and welcome back. In this Black Excellence presentation, we will highlight Alonzo Herndon, the African-American barber and entrepreneur.
Welcome to blackexcellence.com, the site where we share Black excellence, opulence, and affluence. Our mission is to inspire you as we enlighten you.
Alonzo Herndon started off as a teenager toiling soil on a plantation, but prevailed to become a successful barbershop owner and Atlanta's first African-American millionaire. Defeating poverty and illiteracy, he transformed himself into a successful entrepreneur who would overcome the Jim Crow laws that held African Americans back to excel financially in the barbershop and real estate business. Herndon ultimately was able to provide service to both blacks and whites in a segregated society, but managed to help the black community afford insurance policies when white companies rejected them. These life insurance policies would help black families establish generational wealth and mitigate wealth disparities across race in the Southeast. In his lifetime, he rose out of slavery to serve as a role model and inspiration to generations of African-American entrepreneurs who would conquer their own trials and tribulations to reach their goals. In this original Black Excellence video, we will be featuring Alonzo Herndon, the real estate mogul and entrepreneur. So without further ado, let's get started. 1. Alonzo Franklin Herndon was born on June 26, 1858, in Walton County, Georgia. Alonzo Herndon was the son of Sophiny, a slave, and a white father, Frank Herndon, a slave owner. Young Alonzo was one of Frank Herndon's 25 slaves, and his biological father never acknowledged paternity of him. Alonzo also had a younger brother, Thomas, and several other step-siblings born to other slave women who worked on his father's farm. After the American Civil War, 7-year-old Alonzo and his family, which included his mother, her parents, and his younger brother, were freed in 1865. They still continued to live in extreme poverty. Therefore, the family worked chiefly as sharecroppers on plantations in Social Circle, Georgia, 40 miles east of Atlanta. When he was strong enough at age 13, his former master and biological father offered him a job on the plantation as a farmhand, a position he held for the next 7 years. 2. Herndon opened his first barbershop in 1878 and moved his business to Atlanta. In 1878, with $11 in his pockets and 1 year of formal schooling, he left his family behind at the age of 20 and moved to Senoia, Georgia, where he worked as a farmhand. He would also take a part-time position in Jonesboro as a barber. The job opened the door to his bright and prosperous future. One of the few avenues for intimate, respectful contact between African Americans and whites in the South, the barber profession provided an opportunity for financial success for many blacks in the decades after the Civil War. Within 6 months, Herndon became a sought-after talent in his new trade. He used his savings to purchase a half interest in the barbershop, and in less than a year, he purchased the barbershop outright. Herndon's barbershop business thrived over the next 5 years. With a sizable savings on hand, he moved to Atlanta in 1883, hoping to expand his opportunities and continue barbering in the largest city in the state. Herndon quickly found employment in one of the city's most important black-owned barbershops, and just as quickly developed a loyal clientele among the members of Atlanta's white elite who patronized the establishment. He eventually opened his own barbershop in Atlanta in 1886. Only a year later, he was invited to move his premises to one of the city's upscale hotels, Markham House. The relocation was a smart business move, and Herndon became the premier barber among Atlanta's rich and powerful. Over the next 10 years, Herndon's Markham House establishment made him a wealthy man and allowed him to open 2 other upscale barbershops in the city. In 1896, when the hotel and Herndon's shop were destroyed by fire, he set about creating a new showcase barbershop at 66 Peachtree Street. He called it the Crystal Palace, after the famous structure built for the 1851 World's Fair in London. Opened in 1902, the Crystal Palace was fitted with opulent furnishings, mirror-lined walls, crystal chandeliers, gold fixtures, 25 luxury haircutting stations, and several private rooms with bathtubs and showers. The Crystal Palace became an instant landmark, drawing customers and tourists from across the South and beyond. Soon thereafter, Herndon bought a stake in a barbershop on Marietta Street, owned by William Doherty Hutchins, a fellow African American. His clientele at both shops included Atlanta's wealthy and influential inner circle: presidents, judges, politicians, businessmen, and lawyers. 3. Herndon invested in real estate. Guided in part by advice and information he picked up from his wealthy, powerful clientele, Herndon invested the majority of his profits in real estate. A shrewd businessman who would see his earnings grow exponentially, Herndon hoped to expand his empire with other lucrative opportunities. Herndon would soon find himself investing his barbershop income in several rental houses and multiple commercial properties. By the early 1900s, he had become the largest black property owner in the city of Atlanta. Eventually, the real estate mogul acquired over 100 houses, a large strip of commercial property on Auburn Avenue, and a large estate in Tavares, Florida.
Big news! In the next 60 seconds, I'm going to show you the fastest way to become a millionaire. If you're not interested,
Florida. 4. Herndon became Atlanta's first black millionaire. It also was in 1905 that Herndon made a strategic business decision to enter the world of insurance finance. He purchased the struggling insurance firm, Atlanta Benevolent and Protective Association, which had been founded by a local African-American pastor. In 1910, Herndon suffered a major catastrophe when his beloved wife died unexpectedly. In mourning, he threw himself into managing his new business. He would work diligently to incorporate his business into the Atlanta Mutual Insurance Association, with 23 offices all across Georgia. By 1916, Herndon merged his insurance business with 2 other firms and renamed the conglomeration Atlanta Mutual Life Insurance Company. The firm prospered after Herndon reorganized it as a stock company capitalized at $25,000. Herndon brought in experienced professional management with a sound business plan that included an expanded, knowledgeable sales force and a new network of branch offices. The company built respect in the financial community and acquired more customers by buying out a series of vulnerable competitors. By the time the second decade of the 20th century began, Herndon's firm was one of the most successful African-American-owned businesses in the United States. The other was John Merrick's North Carolina Mutual Insurance Company. Merrick, a contemporary of Herndon's, also had begun his career as a barber. In 1922, Herndon's company was reorganized as the Atlanta Life Insurance Company, a legal reserve company offering all classes of life insurance. Herndon and his company were in a position enjoyed by only 4 other black insurance companies in the nation. His insurance company, barbershops, and real estate holdings would continue to grow rapidly and flourish through the 1920s and the Great Depression of the 1930s, expanding its operations into Florida, Kansas, Kentucky, Missouri, Tennessee, and Texas. Through his enterprises, Herndon became Atlanta's first black millionaire. As a result, he was featured in the Crisis magazine's Men of the Month in March 1921. 5. Herndon was also a philanthropist and political delegate. Herndon's